This is the AFC North wide receiving core rankings. Worst to best. This is from Dog Pound Daily. Number 4, the Ravens. They've got Bateman, Beckham, Zay Flowers, Nelson Aguilar. Beckham hadn't played in a couple of years. Bateman's been banged up. Flowers is a promising rookie. They go 3, the Steelers. Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, Allen Robinson. All right, Pickens is an interesting young guy. Robinson hasn't put it together. They go Browns number 2, Cooper, Elijah Moore, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Marquise Goodwin. Cooper, I think, is underrated nationally. And number 1, obviously the Bengals, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. That's probably the best receiving core in football. I can't argue with those rankings. I think they pretty much got those right.
Well, let's be honest here. This was never a discussion about who was number 1. This was a discussion about who was going to be number 2. When you talk about the Bengals wide receivers, the potential is legitimately 300 receptions between the 3 of those guys. And any one of those guys could easily eclipse 100. The only thing is that they kind of cancel each other out at times. But I do agree here. Look, the Ravens, Odell Beckham Jr. comes in here. But this should be a wide receiver room where we're talking about Bateman and we're talking about Zay Flowers. Nelson Aguilar should be like the afterthought third wide receiver, the veteran in this, if it doesn't work right for the kids. But Odell Beckham, and as we've seen, sometimes the thought of Odell Beckham Jr. is a lot better than the reality of Odell Beckham Jr. And week 1, week 2 go by, and between Bateman and Zay Flowers, they catch 12, 13 balls, and Odell only catches 2 or 3. What's going to happen? Because it's hard to say it's going to go well, because we've all seen it not go well in too many cities up until this point. The Steelers, I think the thing that kind of holds the Steelers back here right now is you're not sure where Kenny Pickett is at yet. I mean, Kenny Pickett and Deshaun Watson in 6 games, they threw the same amount of touchdown passes last year. Deontay Johnson, I've always thought maybe the name and the flashes have carried a little bit more than the game. Pickens is certainly the one to obviously watch there. The potential for what this guy can do if he can get stable quarterback play certainly is off the charts. But you look at the Browns, you look at what Cooper, and you look at what Donovan Peoples-Jones did last year, and you look at the potential of what a player like Elijah Moore can do. And the Browns have one of these Steeler types from back in the day, the Antoine Randall L., the Hines Wards. These guys could kind of do a little bit of everything, and they always found up a way to change the outcome of a big game. But I agree with this year. I think, between this Browns wide receiver room, the top 3, the potential is there to be, off the charts. Then you get to Tillman. Then, of course, you get to Marquise Goodwin. Then, of course, you get to David Bell. All these guys had proven college records. Goodwin has had his times here in the league where his speed has been a factor. It's a really, really deep room. And you get to Cincinnati, look, it's the standard. Yeah. It's basically, what you're looking for. That's what it's built on. And they were smart. And basically all their money is invested in Joe Burrow and what's going to be the contracts for these wide receivers. And I'll be honest with you, I don't blame them, because if between those 3, those 4, they can find a way to put up 25 to 30 a game, you can find a way to piecemeal the rest of your 48, 49-man roster.
Yeah, and really, that's the reason you need Denzel Ward and you need Greg Newsome and you need Martin Emerson, is because you got to play
Juan
those guys.
Thornhill, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
yep.
You got to play those guys twice every year.